For 6.5 years, he played the part of a grieving husband, the tearful man on television begging, "Please, just come home." The world believed him. Reporters sympathized. Neighbors prayed. But every time he descended the steps of his home, his shoes struck the concrete that concealed her. His missing wife was never missing at all. She was buried beneath his feet. In March 2017, 45-year-old Claire Donnelly vanished from her home in the coastal town of Redhaven, Ireland. Born Claire Dugan in 1972, she was petite, blonde, and known for her cheerful personality. Those who knew her described her as warm, kind, and full of life. She loved animals and fashion, often matching her tiny dog's outfits to her own. Claire had no medical or mental health problems and was regarded by her doctor and friends as happy and healthy. Her childhood had been complicated. Raised by her grandmother, she grew up believing the woman was her mother until she found her birth certificate as a teenager and learned the truth. The discovery left scars, but Claire remained close to her grandmother, who had raised her with love. Claire met Alan Donovan in 1989 in England. She was 17, he was 22. He told friends she was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen and vowed to marry her. They wed 2 years later. Alan's family, disapproving of her Irish background, cut him off completely. What began as devotion slowly turned to obsession. He called her his perfect rose, controlling who she spoke to and where she went. Friends drifted away until it was just the two of them, exactly as Alan wanted. The couple later moved to Ireland, settling in Redhaven in 2016. Their finances were strained, and Alan had a history of petty theft and fraud. By 2017, they were living mostly on social benefits. On Sunday, March 19th, they visited a local market. Claire was in good spirits, buying clothes and perfume. A friend joked about her meeting another man. She laughed and replied, "I already have one man, and that's enough." Those were the last words anyone outside her home ever heard her say. 4 days later, Alan reported her missing. He claimed she'd asked him to drive out of town to buy supplies, and when he returned, she was gone, taking 2 suitcases and €26,000 in cash from their attic. He insisted she had left voluntarily. Police initially treated it as a domestic dispute, not a criminal case. In the weeks that followed, Alan began giving media interviews. Over a dozen television and radio appearances showed him pleading for her return. "Claire, please come home. No one's angry," he said tearfully into the camera. To the public, he appeared to be a heartbroken husband. But behind the scenes, his behavior told a different story. Just 10 days after Claire vanished, Alan began giving away her belongings. He offered her cousin their chest freezer and sold her clothes at the very markets she once loved. When friends asked where she was, he told strange stories, that she was in England getting medical treatment or that she was ill and had lost weight. Police searched the couple's home in June 2017. The interior was filthy, and under the stairs they noticed a new brick wall and freshly laid concrete. They took photos but didn't dig. No cadaver dogs were used. With no sign of blood or struggle, the search ended. For years, the case went cold. Hundreds of leads were investigated, every sighting proved false. Then, in 2021, a new investigative team reopened the file. Detectives re-examined all evidence, including a laptop that had been sitting untouched since 2017. What they found changed everything. For days after reporting Claire missing, a search had been made on that laptop, quicklime and water reaction. The user had also watched a video showing how quicklime can accelerate decomposition and mask odor. Further investigation exposed more lies. Phone records proved Alan never left town the morning Claire supposedly disappeared. He'd been home the entire time. Investigators now believed Claire had never left the house alive. In October 2023, police returned to the property with ground-penetrating radar and cadaver dogs. The dog immediately focused beneath the staircase. When the team lifted the old flooring, they discovered a patch of newer concrete. At a depth of 60 centimeters, black plastic was visible. The excavation was halted, and forensic specialists were called. The next morning, a human hand emerged from the soil. By noon, Allen was arrested for murder. Dental records later confirmed the remains were those of Claire Donnelly. Her Tweety bird tattoo was still visible on her chest. In the pocket of her robe was her wallet and ID. Faced with the evidence, Allen changed his story. He claimed Claire had attacked him with a tool during an argument, and he accidentally strangled her in self-defense. He said he panicked, hid her body in a freezer for days, then buried her beneath the stairs, pouring concrete to seal the grave. He even claimed to have placed flowers and her wedding ring with her, a final gesture of love. His trial began in 2025. The prosecution described him as a manipulative liar who fooled the nation for years. Forensic evidence, digital searches, and his own public interviews painted a picture of guilt beyond doubt. The defense argued it was an accident, but the jury disagreed. After 9 hours of deliberation, they found him guilty of murder. Allen Donovan was sentenced to life in prison. Outside the courthouse, Claire's family expressed both grief and relief. Her sister said softly, Claire was kind, gentle, and loved her animals more than anything. That's how we'll remember her. When Claire's remains were discovered, hundreds attended a vigil in Red Haven, many bringing their dogs in tribute to her love for animals. Half her ashes were buried with her brother, half with the grandmother who raised her. In the end, it wasn't luck that solved the case, it was persistence. A new team's careful review uncovered what everyone had missed for years. Beneath that staircase, the truth had waited patiently in the dark. Claire Donnelly is remembered not for the lies told about her disappearance, but for the warmth and kindness she gave so freely in life. She deserved so much more, and now, finally, she has justice.